All right, so get this. Today, we're going deep into the Kenyan rap scene.
Oh yeah, Kenyan rap's got
It's
this.
really making a name for itself.
It's like a blend of global sounds, but with a super distinct Kenyan vibe, you know?
Absolutely, and the perfect way to plug into this scene is through a podcast called Nellito's Podcast.
Yeah, Nellito's podcast is like a curated listening session. Every episode, they bring on a different Kenyan rapper.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We've already had deep dives with Quantum from episode 1.
Right, and then Jovi Jov in episode 2.
Yeah, both amazing artists. And now for this deep dive, we're looking at episode 3, which features Lil Reyzi Smoke and his track, Trap Kings.
Ooh, Lil Reyzi Smoke, Trap Kings. This is the one that's got everyone buzzing.
And it's not just the music itself.
It is.
It's what he's saying, or maybe how he's saying it, that's making waves.
Yeah, the title of the YouTube video is pretty in your face. It's like, Trap Kings, Kenyan rap, Lil Reyzi Smoke, American rappers diss.
Straight up calling it out.
No holding back.
And here's the thing. The lyrics aren't in English. They're not even in Hindi, which is spoken by some in Kenya. It's a whole other language.
Oh, wow. That's a whole other layer of mystery.
Total mystery.
Makes you think, how effective can a diss track be if most people can't understand what's being said?
That is the question, isn't it? So what do you know about this mysterious language? Can you decode it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's hard to tell from just the audio. Kenny's got this crazy mix of languages and dialects.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
So it's probably one of those, adding that local flavor.
A linguistic puzzle, for sure.
Yeah.
But even with the language barrier, there's this tension, right? American rappers diss. If the lyrics aren't in English, how's that message getting across?
We gotta look at the music video.
The visuals tell the story.
Sometimes, yeah, louder than words even.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are we seeing in this video?
So it's not your typical flashy rap video.
Yeah.
The setting feels really authentic, like a street scene straight out of Nairobi.
Interesting. Maybe that's part of the statement, right?
Yeah. Could be. Like a contrast to the typical American rap video imagery.
Lil Reyzi Smoke saying we do things differently here.
Yeah, it's possible. It's like he's showcasing Kenyan rap's authenticity, setting it apart.
All right, now let's get into the music itself. The beat on Trap Kings is fire.
Oh, yeah.
Super high energy, definitely drawing from American trap, but with a distinct Kenyan twist. What are you hearing?
It's a really clever blend. You can hear that trap influence, but there's this unique rhythm, this flow that feels very Kenyan.
Totally.
Even the instruments they use might have some traditional elements in there.
I hear it. And you know what? Even though we don't understand the lyrics, you can feel this confidence, this defiance in his voice.
I can just feel it.
There's one line in particular that stood out to me. No kind of a devil can dare me.
Oh, yeah. That's a statement.
Powerful stuff.
It speaks to that fearlessness, right? That unwavering spirit. And that probably hits home for a lot of Kenyan listeners.
Absolutely. He's basically saying, I'm here. I'm talented. And I'm not backing down from anyone.
A message that goes beyond language. That feeling, that energy. Anyone can understand that, whether they speak the language or not.
So we have Lil Reyzi Smoke, this Kenyan rapper dropping a diss track on American rappers.
But it's in a language most of them probably don't understand.
Right. But here's the thing. The music video is blowing up. Views, comments. It's starting a conversation.
Which makes me wonder, how are people reacting? Are Kenyan rap fans hyped about this diss? Are American rappers even noticing?
Well, the comment section on YouTube is wild. It's a mix of opinions, languages.
Yeah.
Strong reactions, for sure. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's dive into these comments. What are people saying?
Oh, it's a mix, all right. You've got people praising the beat, the energy,
Yeah.
Lil Reyzi Smoke's whole style.
Yeah.
A lot of comments are in Swahili and Sheng.
Oh, yeah. Those are commonly spoken in Kenya.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like the Kenyan fans are loving it.
Makes sense. It's their scene, their language. But what about comments from outside Kenya? Are people picking up on what he's putting down? There's a surprising amount of those, too. A lot of fire emojis, people saying, this slaps, even though they admit they don't understand a word.
That's wild. So the music itself is breaking through that language barrier.
It's pretty amazing.
I love that. But what about the whole diss track aspect? Are American rappers or fans even taking notice?
Oh, there are definitely comments from American fans. Some are confused, asking for translations, wanting to get the whole diss.
That makes sense.
Others are just acknowledging the talent, saying Kenya's got bars, things like that.
I like that. So maybe not so much a rivalry, but more like a healthy curiosity.
Yeah, definitely. They're intrigued.
Lil Reyzi Smoke's got their attention, and now they want to know more.
Exactly. It just goes to show you music can bridge those cultural gaps, spark curiosity, get conversations going.
Totally.
Oh.
But let's go back to Trap Kings for a minute. We've talked about the beat, the vibe. But what about the lyrics themselves, even without a full translation? Are there any themes or ideas that jump out at you from the video?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's this strong sense of confidence, almost defiance, you can pick up on it, even without understanding the words.
Yeah, I felt that too.
Remember that line, "No kind of a devil can dare me"?
Powerful line.
Bold statement.
It's like he's saying, I'm coming for the crown, and I'm not afraid of any competition.
Exactly. And that confidence, that refusal to be intimidated, that's powerful stuff, especially for young artists and, facing challenges, whether it's in the music industry or just in life.
You think that's a common theme in Kenyan rap? This idea of resilience, overcoming obstacles?
Well, from what I've seen, Kenyan rap really reflects the realities of life in Kenya. There are songs about poverty, inequality, social issues, but also about hope hustle, rising above those challenges.
So it's not just party anthems. It's music with a message, a reflection of their lives, their experiences.
Exactly. And that authenticity, that rawness, that's what makes Kenyan rap so compelling.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly talented artist, Lil Reyzi Smoke. He's making waves. He's challenging the status quo. But what does this mean for the future of Kenyan rap? Where do you see the scene going from here?
I think Kenyan rap is on the verge of exploding onto the global scene. The talent is there, the energy is there, and they're telling stories that can connect with people all over the world.
And platforms like Nellito's podcast, they're helping shine a light on these artists.
Yeah, absolutely. They're giving them a space to showcase their music, connect with a wider audience.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities. We talked about Lil Reyzi Smoke maybe collaborating with Quantum or Jovi Joel, the artists from the previous Nellito's podcast episodes. But what about collaborations with American artists or artists from other parts of the world?
Now that's where things could get really interesting. Imagine the fusion of styles, the cultural exchange, the creative energy.
That would be wild.
That could come from those kinds of collaborations. It could completely reshape the soundscape of global hip-hop.
It's like we're witnessing a movement, a real shift in the global music landscape. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's bring it back to the present.
Right. There's still so much to explore with Lil Reyzi Smoke and Trap Kings.
We've talked about the positive reactions, the excitement around his music. But are there any critical voices? Any pushback against what he's doing?
Oh, yeah. There are always going to be different opinions, especially when an artist is pushing boundaries like Lil Reyzi Smoke is.
That's true.
And while most of the feedback has been super positive, some people have brought up concerns about cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that's a really important point to think about. When cultures come together, especially in music, you have to be sensitive and respectful.
Absolutely. There's this line between appreciation and appropriation, and it's not always easy to figure out where it is.
So how do those concerns apply to Trap Kings?
Well, some people are saying that Lil Reyzi Smoke, using trap music, which, originated in the American South, could be seen as him taking something that isn't his.
That makes sense.
They're asking if it's really his story to tell his sound to use.
It's a valid question. Music is so powerful. And it's important to be aware of where it comes from and what it means to people.
Right. But then there are others who say that music's always changing. It's a global language that goes beyond borders.
I can see that.
They see Lil Reyzi Smoke's music as this blend that creates something totally new.
It's about finding that balance between honoring tradition and pushing creative boundaries.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It really is. And it's important to listen to everyone, especially voices from communities that have been taken advantage of in the past.
For sure. In the end, it's about respecting different perspectives and having those tough conversations.
And realizing that music can bring us together or pull us apart. It's up to us to use it in a good way.
Well said. So after this deep dive into Lil Reyzi Smoke's, his music and all the discussions, it's sparking. What are your final thoughts?
I think Lil Reyzi Smoke is definitely someone to keep an eye on. He's talented, he's bold, and he's not afraid to challenge the norm. Whether you agree with how he's doing it or not, he's making us think about these complicated issues of cultural exchange in music. And that's a conversation we need to have.
I couldn't agree more. This deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has. It's been great exploring this with you.
And to our listeners, if you haven't already, go check out Nellito's podcast.
Yeah, definitely. It's the perfect way to get into the world of Kenyan rap.
Who knows, maybe you'll discover your new favorite artist.
There's a whole world of music out there waiting to be discovered.
So keep listening, stay curious, and join us next time for another deep dive. Until then, happy listening.